Plane about to take off. About to head to Seattle for the first West Coast tour ever. Yo, what's up? It's Sammus here, producer, rapper, PhD student, Ithaca, New York resident, and I'm here to do the recap video for my most recent tour, a West Coast run, my very first, with folk feminist sister duo, the Doubleclicks. So I think in terms of the way I'm going to structure this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the dates because it wasn't a particularly long tour. It was only about a week long. We had 7 stops. So I'll talk maybe I think briefly about each of the stops, what I liked, what was cool, and then I'll share my general kind of overview of how things went and really I want to talk a lot about my respect for the Doubleclicks because I had such a fantastic time getting to know them. Or maybe I'll start with that. So for those of you that don't know, the Doubleclicks, as I mentioned, is a sister duo comprised of 2 wonderful women from Portland, or who are based out of Portland anyways. They make folk music it's almost as hard to categorize, and I think they kind of find themselves in the same position in which I do, where there are like nerdy, geeky tropes, themes, and things that emerge in their music because that's their frame of reference. But it's about so much more than that. I like how they're able to tie together themes, things that are seemingly like distinct or different, and wrap them up in like a really kind of like interesting, sometimes fun, sometimes sobering kind of mix, which is dope. You know, I really appreciate that. So they'll talk about like food or dinosaurs, but also in the same context be talking about growing up or imposter syndrome or love, and they just have a really interesting, unique way of tying it together.
I like candy and I like wine. I like it that you are mine. You are sweet and you are fine. I love you so much. I love you like a burrito. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh.
So the way that we connected was actually through GamerX, which is a convention for that's kind of focused around the idea that gaming is for everyone, with a specific focus around queer gamers. But of course, there were kind of discussions around topics around race as well, and other sort of identities. So I was contacted by GamerX after the Doubleclicks suggested that they hit me up. And so we were going to go do this convention in this past December anyways. And so the Doubleclicks and I were like, hey, we're going to be doing this convention in San Jose. Why don't we set up a little tour around it? It could be super cool. It could be super fun. We had met before at the at Geek Girl Con, which is like a convention for geek girls that celebrates geek girls, in 2014. And I've been watching them just do their thing. They're so dope. They've had super successful Kickstarters. Their fan base loves them, as they should. So I was like, yeah, let's do this. So yeah, they kind of set everything up. I'd never toured on the West Coast before, so it was dope to have somebody who could make those connections for me. I would never have known what spots to go, who to contact, like, yeah, so it was great to have them as point people for all of that. So yeah, the sisters are, there's Aubrey. She's, you know, pretty quiet and cool and funny, but she's like a beast on the road, yo. Like she drove pretty much the entire tour and was just like, it was like a bullet. Like we stopped like once or twice driving all along the West Coast, man. She is a G, certified. Through like hell and high water, literally like hell and high water, because there was like a huge storm the day that I landed at the first stop. And it just like didn't stop until we left like the Pacific Northwest. So we were driving back, we were like hydroplaning, and she was just like swerving like it was Mario Kart. I was like, wow, she's a G. And the other half of the Doubleclicks is Angela, who is absolutely hilarious. She's so funny. I just love her sense of humor. And she's very talented and really commands the stage really well.
Wow, rock star life.
In terms of the stops, As I mentioned, the first leg of the tour, it was like super cold and rainy. It's rainy as fuck, but look, we're here in Eugene. This is my first time being in Eugene. As I mentioned, it is rainy as fuck. And so the first stop was in Seattle, which was cool. You know, I wouldn't say that I have like a huge fan base in Seattle, but there's definitely more love there for me than pretty much any other place in the West Coast, because I've been there for Geek Girl Con and a Geek Girl Con festival, and there's a big kind of, you know, nerd music scene there. So yeah, it was good. Our opener was Shubzilla, with whom I've performed before, and she's part of the MPCC. So it was really great. The crowd was live. Everybody was into it. I got to see some old friends. Some people came out that I'd seen in prior shows, so that was really cool. Sold a lot of merch. That was happy times for me. So yeah, Seattle was dope. It was so cold. That night we went back to Portland, so I could stay with one of the Doubleclicks. And then the second night I really felt like was probably, I'm not gonna say it was my favorite, but I felt like I found my voice. That's where we met up with our kind of tour partner, Lucia Fasano. She is a folk singer-songwriter. She's like super cute and super awesome and very talented, and I really enjoyed getting to see her perform.
You've been gone for almost a year, and as they all drop off the face of the earth, I will wonder who is next.
She joined us actually at our last stop as well, so that's why I say she's like was kind of our tour partner. I would love to do a for real tour. That show was so exciting for me because I got to meet up with Scott Hanselman, he did an interview with me, I think last year or the year before. But yeah, so Portland was really dope. I felt like I found my voice. There were kids there, so I was like super apprehensive because I was like, I curse a lot, but they were cool with it. Everybody was cool with it. We were all cool.
Eating checks makes feeling helpless. I really miss my fucking ex. It's such a mind fuck, cause we never talk, yet we still share a fucking Netflix. And every day I apologize to the poor kids that we never had. The emotion of the whole thing made me so sick. It's fucking sad.
And it was also really tight because I got to meet some of my homies who are a part of Black Lives Matter Portland. That was really moving because we've been talking, we've been communicating via email, you know, over the course of a couple, you know, weeks, months. And so to see them in person and to feel the love, the Black girl magic in the universe, it was like really magical for us. So I'm really, really happy to have made that connection. And if you're in the Portland area, or even if you're not in the Portland area, I really encourage you to follow Black Lives Matter Portland. They're doing a lot of really important things. Yeah, Portland was sickening. I felt really good about that experience. Let's see if there's anything notable. I feel like I'm not very good at touring because I go places and I don't really explore them. So it's like I didn't like get the Portland experience. I kind of like hid. I kind of hid in a room in Aubrey's house for like the 2 days that we were in Portland because I had papers to grade and because I'm an introvert and because it was rainy and people had things to do. So it was fine. I was happy with that. So then the next day we went to the spot called in Eugene, Oregon. That was my first time in Eugene. This is my first time in Portland as well. And Eugene reminded me a lot of Ithaca. It was like pretty small, and especially the space that we went to, it was this kind of like radical community center space that I was like totally into.
It has amazing texts. Look at this. This is awesome. They've got CDs and like records, and then all kinds of zines and stuff. My kind of spot.
The show went really well. It was probably the most low-key show of the whole tour. Like, it wasn't that many people there. There were a lot of kids, so I was like a little anxious again, you know, about my raps. But it was, you know, I managed to figure out my set. Then the next day we went back, we left the state of Oregon, and headed to San Jose for Gamer X, the, you know, initial reason for the tour actually taking place. And it was so funny, like as we crossed the county line, the sky suddenly opened up and there were blue skies. There was like no more clouds. It's like cloudiness is only over the Pacific Northwest. So we drove, the sky was so blue. I was like, the whole time I spent I spent so much time just filming the sky, like us driving. Wow, because I just, here in Ithaca, like bright blue skies, that's a commodity.
Sky is so blue. Oh my god.
Looks like the background of every movie.
Yeah. I'll need to keep this with me when I go back to cloudy upstate. Remember that this exists elsewhere.
So we went to San Jose for GamerX, and I can't like put into words how magical of an experience that was. And we got to stay for 3 days, a whole weekend. It was nice.
I'm here in the digs for GamerX. We got the potty, cute, standard. Hey, it's me. Hi. Here's the room. I threw my coat down. Got a little bed action. Nothing's happening there. Yeah, we just got here. I think we're going to maybe chill for a little bit. And then, hey, it's a plane. Hey, plane. Gonna chill for a little bit and then head over to the convention center.
It was, you know, obviously I love conventions. I love being around my geek folk, you know. But there was something really special about this space. I think it was just so professionally done. It was very smooth. I felt very well taken care of. And the performance was one of the highlights of, I think, my career as a musician. So the setup of the night was for the musical performance. I forget which day it was. I think it was maybe Friday night, if I'm not mistaken. It's all a blur. But so the Super Soul Bros, they're like a cool kind of jazz video game cover band. They opened up. Then the Doubleclicks did a set, and the kids loved it. They were like out from the front sitting there like this, and you know, everybody was into it. It was super cool. And then Too Mellow, who's a rapper and producer, and he does like awesome mashups. You've probably heard of Chrono Jigga. Like he does all of these interesting mashups. So then I headlined the event, which was like such a surprise and so dope. And it turned into like this emotional sob fest. The space was so welcoming that I could really situate myself in my feelings. I was crying, I was in the audience, I was like, you know, touching and feeling. It was just so good. It was so good. And anyone who was there, you know, feel free to comment. You can attest to how special of a moment we all had together. It was really a beautiful thing. Thank you to everybody who came to that performance. It was very special. I hope to get footage soon in order to show you all just how live that whole thing was. So GamerX was dope. The rest of the weekend I just kind of chilled. We had a panel. On the panel we talked about, all the musicians had a panel discussion about making it as an artist. And I learned a lot of good sort of tips. I really, again, as I mentioned before, I love the Doubleclicks. I think that they have, you know, some of the best, the best work ethic out of any sort of group that I have kind of interaction with. And I also think that they're very smart about like connecting with their fan base. They know exactly how to connect with their fan base. They know where their fan base is, what their fan base likes, and they know how to reach them, most importantly. Like I'm still struggling very much with that piece because it's like I know that the people who think that I'm dope are out there, but I'm not good at reaching them. So I learned a lot. I picked up a lot of cool tips and tricks from them. Thank you, Doubleclicks. The next stop after San Jose was Santa Cruz. We went to a crepe shop, which was my first time performing at a crepe shop. I love touring. I just love touring because of the experience of getting to tour in unconventional places. When I went on tour with Mega Ram, we performed at a pizza shop. You know, like I just love being able to do that. And I think part of being part of this niche scene is that it allows a lot of flexibility in terms of places that I can perform. So, yeah, we performed at a crepe shop. People came out. I got some love from a member of Metroid Metal. So that was like, thanks, Grant. You're awesome. And he brought the homies. My homie from my department, they came through. They were on the West Coast and they came to the show. Homies who I had met from the internet. that was really, I think, what made this tour extra special. Was like, I don't have that many people on the West Coast, but the fact that at so many of the stops, people that I had interacted with just online were there. I was like, man, this is a beautiful thing. Thank you. Oh man, my leg just fell asleep. Fuck! I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Okay, so anyways. Yeah, after the Crepe Shop show, then we went to Santa Barbara, I believe. Let me make sure I got that right. Where we performed at a comic book shop, and that show was unbelievable. It was packed in there. It was packed, and what made it so unbelievable was that show had evidently was put on by a fan of the Doubleclicks. So the Doubleclicks have this form that they put on their website that's like, tell us if you want us to come to your city. And you know, she had filled out this form and been like, come to my city, and they were like, okay, so help us to figure out where we should go. And she actually found the spot. She corralled the people. There was like 40 plus people in there.
We're having a wonderful time. This is our second to last show. Our next one's in LA. It's our last show. This is so amazing. This is our first time ever in Santa Barbara. Thank you for coming to this show. This is all thanks to your friend Emily, who's sitting right here. Usually it's super annoying when people tweet at us like, oh, you just announced a tour, but you're not coming to Iowa, why not? But Emily found us a show to play when she did that. And now you're all here because of her. So yay! Yay! It worked.
It was so unbelievable. I just was in disbelief, and I had my anxieties because it was like I was like staring right at them, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna say some naughty things, but it was fine. They rocked with me, and I rocked with them, and then the Doubleclicks went on stage, and they killed it. So yeah, Santa Barbara was effing dope.
'Cause you're not a quitter, you still believe the truth's in your lasso, your heart's on your sleeve, and when we're drowning in darkness, you'll save us all from going under, and we'll watch you in wonder.
And then the last stop was Los Angeles, LA, and that was really cool. We played in a spot that looked kind of like a church, so that was interesting. A homie from high school actually who lives in LA, Alex Krezovich, came out to see me. My friend Tiara, who I met here in Ithaca, came to see me. Yeah, it was like I just felt so much love, and at that last show, of course, I was in my feelings, crying. It was a beautiful experience, and the Doubleclicks killed it.
A burrito. Thank you guys so much. What an amazing way to end our tour. Thank you.
So the whole tour was a real success, I think. I didn't lose money, so that's that's one barometer, that's one measure of success. But I also had such a great time.
They're playing my favorite Come True song. Listen. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Yeah. Life is so good.
And I learned a lot, and I really, and I got a chance to connect with some really dope people. The Doubleclicks are awesome. I'm really happy that we got a chance to hang out, and we made a lot of jokes together. I don't know, I just really fuck with them a lot now.
Oh God.
No Grizzlies yet.
Maybe they're in disguise as high school students.
Just sitting in class, like I hope no one finds out. Secretly a bear.
That's what high school can feel like.
That's very true. That's one of the takeaways from tour. That
Yeah.
high school can feel like you're a bear pretending to be a regular high school student.
That's okay.
And it's fine.
The secret is everybody's a bear. You just think
Yeah.
you're the only one.
That's brilliant.
So this was my kind of speedy tour video. I'm wanting to, you know, make sure that I said something about the experience because it was so dope and so meaningful. I hope to get out to the West Coast again. Next area that I can hopefully, you know, take over or visit is the Midwest. I haven't had a chance to break through there yet, so we'll see. Or even like Atlanta, like that area of the South, I haven't really had a chance to get to. I really want to go there. I know I have some fans and friends there. So if you are in Atlanta and want me to see me, or you are in Chicago or any of these other cities, you know, let me know and tell me spots that are good to go to, so hopefully I can set up a tour around that. I would love to visit new places. I'm so happy about the Doubleclicks. I have new music coming out very, very shortly. I can't even believe it. I'm kind of scared. I'm actually very scared. I have a song, my first single, coming out from, it's going to be on my newest EP and my newest album. It's called 1080p, and it's about my journey to find therapy. So thank you for watching this video. Thanks to the Doubleclicks for having me on tour, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.